got a little older. Well, I got a little older. Things in life will change you. There ain't nothing you can do. Many people will come this way, never finding what is true. Things in life will change you. There ain't nothing you can do. Many people will come this way, never finding what is true. I got a little older. I took a good look at myself. I got a little older. Then put the bottle back on the shelf. I got a little older. I put away those childish things. I got a little older. Well, I got a little older.
Hi, I'm Ian, and as you know, I am the designer at Abruzzi, and today we're going to talk about karting boots. There they are, they look a bit bland, but as you know, we pride ourselves on being custom at Abruzzi, so you can have your own name, flag, your logo, and look at the colours, everything you could want from under the rainbow. There's suedes, there's leathers, the possibilities are almost endless. There's reds, there's blues, there's greens, orange, pink, everything. Squirrels! No, not squirrels. Gold looks nice though. Get your custom boots and gloves at abruzzi.co.uk. All of our products are high quality and handmade, so get your wear your way.
And we are green. Evenly start inside line with the edge.
Mark Jackson just slower than Wesley Hollinger.
As drivers around the corners, as long as they hit their
Romax off lid. We're racing race number 1.
twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reckless, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the free, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the free, in the
All right, welcome everyone here to MaxSpeedTV live tonight on the Sunday evening. Like most people probably already turned off football. Now we're over to some iRacing here. Loose Lugness Racing, a Bruzy Raceware USA Cup Series. I am Jeff Wood. With me here tonight, and probably for the remainder of the season and future on Sundays, is Robert Matisse, or Panic, as you'll hear me call him. And on cameras, we'll have, as always, Mr. Michael D'Amico. I should say always, missing last week. Big shout out to Matt Egan, ASN, with the little bit of help there, and happy birthday to Matt. But back over here on MaxSpeedTV for some Watkins Glen, we got some road course action going on. 51 laps here at the 2.43 mile road course here in New York. Gonna have some fun here tonight. We're gonna have some different camera angles. Before I get it all into that racing, Judd's down there qualifying. He needs some good qualifying tonight, and looking at the points that we'll go over because he's in the mix of that top 10, top 12 points battle. So just want to do a quick shout out to Bruzy Racewear USA. Go check out their URL over there on Facebook. You can get a hold of them on the .com side or .co.uk side. Anything you do, big news going to come out of Bruzy next week when we head to Daytona for that action. So over here on MaxSpeedTV, we'll have that news live from Judd. But joining in the conversation now is Panic himself, Robert Matisse. Road course racing, man. We had such an exciting Thursday finish. May not be exciting for those fans, and Mr. Miko is going to point the camera at whoever he wants right now while we talk some shop. Can we see the same thing tonight?
Oh yeah, definitely. Road course throws a different wrench into the plans of everybody here, especially the track tonight. Track tonight, looking at the weather, is 76 degrees. The track temp itself is 104. What's that mean? That means slick. That means oil all over the place without there being any oil.
Yeah, we mentioned also ride height last week as we were talking about this upcoming race, and it's a significantly important race. If you're not familiar with the Loose Lug Nut schedule, week 1 through 3 we had a drop race due to some connection issues. Week 4 through now, which is 13 here at Watkins Glen, you could drop a race between 4 and 13, obviously. So these drivers that have missed races can't afford to miss anymore, especially if they're in points. Mitchell Reeves, and we'll have to see what's going on with those drivers throughout. So let's get to those points real quick. Mr. Miko's going to throw up that stat, and we're going to take a look at them. Justin Michael with a slim lead up there, a slim lead of 9 points, but 4 wins, 4 poles, sitting there pretty. Daniel Smallwood, he's there. He can't miss a race, I don't think. Chadwick's there, Kyle Chadwick. Randy Arms 4th. Tyler Needham, he needs to continue some good racing, finish in top 10. Mitchell Reeves missed 2 races so far this season. Looking for a bounce back. Brandon Thornhill, he's there, 7th. Trent Drum, 8th. Judd Danielson, mentioned there, that 85 machine of Bruzy Racewear sponsored. And 9th, Mark Jackson, 10th. Jeff Merck, 11th. Ray Richer and John Shulcheski hold out for 12th there, tied for 12th. And the people looking in for that top 12 as we head to the major points battle next week will be John Henderson, Travis Browder, Ronald Klein, Trey Galgan's here tonight, as is Jared Daniels has a shot. 19th is Chris Shaw, but he's off in California, hopefully viewing in. I'm not seeing Keith Haney logged in or Ken Richardson, so I think those guys have pretty much sealed their fate inside the top 12 run.
Yeah, definitely this race having max effect going into Daytona tonight here at the Glen. Gonna be a big point shakeup after tonight.
Yeah, who knows? Finishing out qualifying only 12 times down, that's about half the field. I don't know if even we'll have half of that. They're on the lead lap when we finish. Person I thought was going to take the pole didn't. I had about a second off of his time almost. We'll get to that. It was been Daniel Smallwood, but Randy Arm looking to take the pole with about 50 seconds remain this qualifying round. Yeah, there is a lot of possibility here tonight. It just takes a minor mistake, and I know we haven't even said it yet. There is an incident limit set by the league at 15, so getting loose in the bus stop, grabbing some grass in the wrong place, it could add up very quickly over 51 laps and 10 corners per lap.
Yeah, and we were talking about ride heights all week. With coming into the Glen, the cars don't have a ride height, but yet when they're going up the hill in the S's, the thing rebounds uncontrollably. The car is way above the ground, no grip whatsoever going up the hill in the S's. It's going to be something to watch all night, especially if you get off on the rumble strip. We saw the 88 in practice get off on the rumble strip and completely destroy his car in the first left-hander coming up the S's.
Yeah, going to be interesting going here, waiting for them to grid up, and we'll go down that grid. Brought to you by Agave Valley Painting. So thanks to that sponsor for our grid up here. Couple more guys getting ready here. Pole position on the inside as the first turn is a right-hander. People shouting out the 18 of Rowdy. That is Travis Browder. I see Randy Arms getting a shout-out. Jake Rousseau tuning in. Brandon Kennedy, Miss Michelle. Let's see, scrolling real quick as we wait for these guys to load up. Brandon Kennedy and Timothy Smith earlier on. I'll get to a lot more of the comments here. Let's go ahead and get it done. Randy Arms, fast time, minute 11:214. So decent there qualifying spot. Daniel Smallwood will be second. Third, Jeff Merck. He moved up a lot from his practice, as did Jared Daniels in fourth. Trey Galgan fifth. Zach McSwain sixth. Travis Browder seventh. Kyle Chadwick eighth. Judd Danielson ninth. Brandon Thornhill 10th. Ray Richer 11th. And Mark Jackson 12th. Officially on the board is, he's logged in. There's the 87 Justin Michael. 13th. He's the first car not qualifying. Trent Drum 14th. John Henderson 15th. Brandon Needham 16th. Topper Dugas 17th. Andrew Feston 18th. No practice time for Andrew Feston there. Tyler Needham 19th. Mitchell Reeves, he hasn't logged in yet. He cannot afford to miss another race. He's logged in, but he hasn't gridded. Jeremy Crandall, 23rd, he's off the track. 21st will be John Shulcheski. Brandon Murray rounds out the back of this field with 22 cars. Now, we are a little bit short on the field, seeing 30-plus cars here at normal on Sunday evenings, but I'm sure we'll get back with Daytona.
Yeah, it's still a pretty big field here for Watkins Glen, considering not a lot of people like road course racing.
No, and it was up to us good earlier. This is a points league, so every race counts, and, if you don't want to have a bad week, you might as well come to Watkins Glen. You got to learn sometime.
Right.
Oh, here's that first right-hander, the first turn they're going through. We'll call them out real quick so we don't have to point them out. Coming up, Panic, go ahead and take it away. I know you know this track better than I do.
Yeah, they'll be climbing the hill here, probably in third gear to about right here up the S's. The first, another right-hander, then a quick left-hander. Car gets really light through this area as they climb up to the right-hander. About, I don't know if they'll get to fourth, but if they do, it'll be very, very late going into the bus stop. I know a couple weeks ago on the official side, never hit fourth gear.
Yeah, so this is the long straightaway after the front straightaway, obviously. And then, like you said, into the bus stop where I think we're going to see, I'd say 40% of our incidents here tonight after turn number one.
Yeah, turn one in the bus stop, very big passing zones, probably 2 out of 3 on the track. I'll point the one out, the last turn here when we get to it. But the bus stop going to be a game of playing chicken all night to who gets the position on who. And if you brake too late going into it, right through the grass, and the only thing on the other side is the tire wall. Down through the carousel here. Yeah,
carousel here onto what I call the back straightaway before the left-hand turn of, I believe, is it turn 7 or 8 or 8 or 9, whichever one it is.
Yeah, the left-hand at turn 7, I think another final key passing point here at the Glen. That's my 3. There'll probably be others. But I don't think you want to go too wide through the S's here, but this left-hander I think is going to be another game of chicken tonight to see who outbreaks who to make it.
Yeah, and so we saw a lot of incidents here when I was announcing on Thursday, missing that braking point or just, having tire hop or wheel hop there, carrying too much speed. Final right-hand turn. We're about to go green here, so there's that turn number 8. Through this road course configuration. Green. Rolling start here tonight. No, it was a concern. Daniel Smallwood out and about quickly.
Randy Arms very sketchy on getting onto that start. Makes it up in turn 1 as they bury down in here for the first time.
A little bit of bump there from 60 to 83. They're going to get shook out here. Jared Daniels challenging early. Smallwood getting away, winning last night by a good margin. Looks like second place is the battle here with Randy Arms, 83 and 50 of Jared Daniels.
Yeah, I said they couldn't go through too wide through the S's, and they made me out a liar. Down into the bus stop for the first time this afternoon here. 51 laps at the Glen.
Nice, easy way through. Nice, smooth transition for those top 5, 6 guys. You know, we're going to view these guys real quick before we move the field. We're going to probably get into some quick crank it up cam action early on. Oh, someone's loose. Mark Jackson in the back of the 3 car. He stopped in the middle. He holds the car. Wow, what a gentleman. He didn't get back on the gas. Keeps going. So let's get back to Randy Arms area of the track as they complete lap number 1. Jared Daniels is second. Daniel Smallwood has checked out early. Going to get an early paycheck here tonight. But, you know, quick spin from Mark Jackson. Crank it up cam coming up. Next lap, we're going to start it on, you know, this big group here with the 50 coming onto lap number 3. We'll do at least 1 lap and let the, you know, YouTube side hit that max volume and get to see these cars go through the corners.
Jeff Daniels, Smallwood pitted.
Smallwood pitted. Oh, Randy Arms into the grass. Jared Daniels now the official leader. I didn't even see the time change on my board, so not sure what happened. Oh, he got a penalty. Maybe he jumped the start. No 76 on the field. I just mentioned that because that's usual race control there inside the car. Here comes Crank It Up, everyone. We're going to shut up for a moment here on the 50 and let y'all enjoy the sounds of the Speedway. All right, action is heating up out front. We're going to take it out of the crank up cam.
Jared Daniels! Big crash on the front.
Big crash. 49, 50 involved. 88 torn up now. Oh, that is a ton of points action down the drain for some of those guys. We're going to have to get a replay on the 50 there of Jared Daniels. Or just a bad turn 1 for that 50. Came down back into the 091, rubbed him a little bit, but big contact with that 49 Trey Galgan. 18 got some damage going by, and 88 tried to split the middle and tore up the front end of his car.
Trey Galgan also involved in that. About 4 cars. Massive big one here on lap 4 at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, that is a big crash. You know, Trey Galgan trying to break into points. Jared Daniels doing the same thing. Chadwick sitting pretty up in the top of the points.
Yeah, he just totally blew turn 1 and tried to get back on circuit, and McSwain was there.
Yeah, I'm seeing a worrying stat here. Quite a few people just dropped a connection on the racetrack. Yeah, let's get back out front. Our current leader is the 60 machine of Jeff Merck. Got a fast car. I don't think as fast as what we saw Smallwood go through. But, the guy running second is the scary feller. Zach McSwain, we talked about his incredible run Thursday in the Truck Series. Almost made up 13 seconds in the last 15 laps for a final lap crash in that exact same spot that we saw the big one here.
Yeah, McSwain went all over Reeves, and then they ended up piling up out of turn 1 on the last lap, and Reeves, I don't know how, came up with the win.
Yeah, I think McSwain hit the incident limit, and we've been talking about that 091 a lot. He has a couple second place finishes, looking to break that mold and find, the top of the podium. Can he do it? He's going to have another shot here tonight. Hopefully he received minimal damage through that incident on turn 1 a few laps back.
Yeah, I did see the left rear spoiler a little bit in the air on the 091 here, but nothing to be too concerned about.
All right, well, let's pop up our top 10 real quick because it's obviously changed. Merck leading, McSwain second, Randy Arms third, gets away with a minimal damage himself. T. Rowdy, Travis Browder, 18 machine fourth, Brandon Thornhill fifth, Daniel Smallwood already up to sixth, if that's not crazy enough. Brandon Murray seventh, Ray Richer eighth, Jared Daniels ninth, and Brandon Needham 10th. Quick top 10 right there. Let's see if we can't focus anyone real quick. Some action on the speedway, anywhere on the speedway.
Mark Jackson about to go a lap down right in front of Jeffrey Merck in the 13th position.
Yeah, 88 off the track, 110 off the track, 49, 33. Quick exits here tonight. Shouldn't be a extremely long broadcast here. A minute 12 to a minute 15 laps over the course of this race, I would surmise, and be done within an hour. Good camera action out there from D'Amico, switching it up. We're going to be talking about random things, and Mr. D'Amico might see something interesting on the track before we do.
Seven laps in the books, coming to lap 8 here at Watkins Glen. About 23 on fuel they can do tonight, so 2-stop race here with 51 laps. Only 46 you can do on fuel, so Jeffrey Merck right now with a 1 second lead over Zach McSwain and 3.5 seconds over Randy Arms.
I think that's going to change. The big swing on Thursday, and I'm sure it was last night, was pit stops. So at least the first pit stop, it was, who could pit here at Watkins Glen with speed. And that's going to be key, getting off of turn number 8 on that front straightaway, hitting a good pit line, and getting there safely.
Yeah, saw a lot of speeding penalties last night. Chadwick got one. I got one personally. It's a 40-second speeding penalty now in iRacing.
That's a under green penalty. Obviously, I think you get a EOL or something coming out of the caution.
Oh, Jeff Merck spinning in the carousel.
Oh wow! What in the world is going on this track? Like we said, just one quick incident and you could find yourself way back. And the guy we talked a lot about already, Zach McSwain, out in front, gonna hit lap number 9 around the speedway. Gonna lead lap number 8 first, but there goes the 091 with a little bit of flaring damage. 88 of Chadwick getting back out on the track, trying to collect some laps. Bad turn number 1 for the 091, but he's excited to be out front.
It looked like Merck just got a little high in the carousel, and the car didn't like it. Snapped that thing around, quick 180, and tagged the inside wall, but no big deal on Merck. See where he can come back here.
Oh, wow, 88 re-crashes that thing. I think 83 got involved. Oh, boy, 4 cars involved. Merck's involved. Chadwick back out on the track, crashes quick. Merck didn't even see it coming out of that S. Randy Arms' night is over. Merck can continue.
Wow.
They are dropping like flies.
Yeah, the S's at the Glen. Just Chadwick trying to get out of the way, caught a little bit of the grass, and all of a sudden, yeah. Second and third place are now behind the wall. I don't know about Merck, actually. I know Arms was.
Now, Arms destroyed the front end of that. Good camera work coming from there from Mr. D'Amica. It's just, boy, oh boy. You expect things to happen, but just not at the front of the speedway all the time.
I got nothing to say, but wow.
Yep. Quick dropping from a lot of guys. I think we have 14 guys left on track with 21 that started this race.
Only 10 laps in. We still got 42 laps to go.
Yeah, so, out there in chat, how about helping us out here in the booth? What do y'all want to talk about? Let's talk about some NASCAR. We'll try to stay interested on the race, of course, but tell me your biggest things. I know iRacing-wise and NASCAR-wise, we just come off the 24 hours of Daytona. Hopefully your teams out there, if you ran it, did well. So congrats to those guys. And, next big up on iRacing NASCAR World is the Daytona 500 as McSwain gets a little bit loose through turn number 8.
Still driving the wheels off that thing with a 13-second lead over Daniel Smallwood.
Yeah, he's going to have to. A guy that received a lap 1 penalty, the number 8 of Daniel Smallwood, only 12 seconds back now after going across the line. He's a scary fella after seeing all that speed from him in 1 lap.
And even he is loose during the S's and still gaining time.
Yeah, well, loose is fast, but, on the verge of out of control. It looks like a lot of in-car handling, and it could just, at any time, snap the other way. An unfortunate circumstance that we've seen from a lot of drivers through 10 laps.
Yeah, 10 laps of a 50-lap race, which you thought was 10 to go there for a minute. The way everything worked out. I don't think there's a car on the track except maybe Smallwood that doesn't have damage.
Yeah, that's a good point. It might come down to some pit stop time here if some of these drivers can get some extra time on pit road to repair that damage. We talked in the beginning about points. Those guys sitting right outside or right on the top 12. We'll start with 10th, Mark Jackson. I think he's still rolling around the speedway at least 1 lap down, but in 12th place. So he's doing well. Jeff Merck involved in one of those crashes. Hopefully he kept that car going. He has. He's up to 4th, so that's some good points here tonight for him thus far, at least. Ray Richer, 44 machine. Why don't we turn over the camera to him? He's running around in the 7th position at this moment. He's going to pick up some good needed points. He's tied with John Shulcheski and that 81 machine who's running around 10th on the lead lap. About to get lapped in the next 10 seconds race time, though. So a lot of bubble guys benefiting early on. Even Travis Browder, who's looking around in 15th in points tonight. He's looking pretty going forward so far.
Everybody goes into Daytona worried about the big one, and yeah, we didn't even make it. So it's gonna be weird points tonight, especially after the drop week and now this.
No, that's for sure. Obviously, quite a few racers down from what we would normally see. Pointed that out early on. It's just it's gonna be that way here at the Glen. Those guys that can get around this track, and it's obviously the car setup driver combo going on, and I don't think it's anything. This is, if you can get great points tonight, if you can get a win, That's all bonus for you tonight at the Glen if you can afford a drop.
Yeah, Watkins Glen, I like it. It's one of my favorite road courses, but it's so technical, and it doesn't even look technical. Like, you think, yeah, there's a couple tight turns, and the rest of it's just easy driving. It is not. The cars are all over the place here. It's just wild.
Yep, and getting a lot of airtime for guys we normally don't seem to get some airtime for.
I'm trying to figure out where McSwain got that front end damage from.
I think that was lap number 1 damage when he came off. Was it Trey? No, it was Jared Daniels. The 50 machine came off wide on turn number 1. But I don't know. Like you said, everyone has damage tonight.
He came off of the last turn to complete lap of 12 and got sideways and smacked the inside wall. That's where the right side damage on the 091 came from.
Oh boy.
And this is the guy with the 8-second lead by himself as Randy Arms leaves. He's pulling the hauler and going to Daytona. Him and Chadwick also calling it a night here early at Watkins Glen, which is understandable.
No, I know that 88 machine is not going to be happy with himself and a potential gain in points night versus what's happening on the field at the moment. McSwain did have that 13-second lead for a moment, but it's whittled down to about 6, probably 5 seconds here when the 8 machine crosses. Yeah, these guys are
4.5.
4.5. Wow, I guessed wrong. These guys are forgetting. These aren't the old Cup cars with all that extra grip. An old tire model, tons of horsepower, and low center of gravity on that front nose.
Take a quick run through here. The top 5 as we're 15 laps into Watkins Glen. Zach McSwain, Daniel Smallwood, Travis Browder, Jeffrey Merck, and Brandon Thornhill are our top 5 as we have 9 cars on the lead lap. And it's about to be 8 because McSwain is all over the back of Thornhill, the 68 machine, and P. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm confusing myself here. The 2 and the 091 look the same from far away. I apologize.
Yeah, that 2 of Brandon Murray, we'll take a quick look at him as he is in a throwback scheme. He's running around in position number 6.
I do like the Rusty Wallace throwbacks. Those are very cool paint schemes. Grew up watching that guy race in that 2 car.
Yeah, Rusty Wallace was before Jeff Gordon was Jeff Gordon. So if that makes any sense to y'all out there, that's how great Rusty Wallace was there at the end of the 80s, into the early 90s.
Smallwood down to 3.2 seconds. Gaining a second and a lap on McSwain.
Yeah, I feel bad to say this for McSwain because I actually do want to see him, I wanted to see someone else win. In saying that, that's not a bad thing. That just shows you the top level of competition here at Loose Lug Nuts. You get to see it at the end of the season. You know who you have to beat night in and night out. Just like the real NASCAR world. There's rarely a guy that gets in a single win outside of the main drivers on the NASCAR side of things. It's not as bad here at Lug Nuts, but the same goes. You want to see someone else's name pop up. You want to get them up to that top spot on the podium. And McSwain's right there, but Smallwood is going to catch him.
Smallwood just got some damage from the 50 cars. He tried to cut the corner tight. The 50 was there, and they door banked. So now Smallwood.
Jeez, that's a cars involved. The fast cars, obviously, on the first couple laps, damaged. Got back out. We saw the 88 spin out as he was trying to get back on the speedway, and then in the 50 car, same thing. He was involved in a lap 2 crash. Smallwood just barely getting around those corners.
Brandon Needham and P8 right now going a lap down to McSwain as they work their way into the bus stop here to complete lap 16. If you're Daniel Smallwood, you can see McSwain now.
Yeah, that's when you start to mess up too, because you start eating up more track in front of you.
Thing is so out of control, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, he just flew by that 21. And 21's obviously going a little bit slower. That's 8th place of Brandon Needham. Tyler Needham's the guy that was up 4th in points. Brother Brandon Needham hanging on here tonight. Probably looking for a good final position. Looks like he'll get a top 10 based on cars on track.
McSwain trying to put Mark Jackson in a lap down as they work their way into one.
Yeah, that'll be Mark's 2nd lap down. Mark just eating up points and time right now. Obviously, these guys are going to be looking at the relative, especially when you start to get into John Henderson or Mark Jackson or Jared Daniels. I know Jared Daniels is sitting up there close to points to that 50 machine, leading the first lap technically. Jared Daniels 18th in points. He could make up points tonight, even with that bad, lap 2 crash there, or lap 3, whatever it was. 50 machine still could make up points, move up ahead of Galgan, Klein. We're going to have falling people on the track, so that 50, Jared Daniels has to still struggle for a top finish tonight in order to set up the Daytona finish of next week.
Thing of Smallwood, man. My old man used to say when he was running down cars and racing and get the fish. Oh, never mind. Because we see McSwain, first one on pit road, lap 18.
Yep, lap 18. I thought you said 23 was the mark.
Yeah,
well, he has to second pit it no matter what, right?
Yep. Yeah, if you're going to do a 2-stop race, that's 46 out of 51. If I was out there, it would have been like lap 8. I would have fitted, so at least that's what we heard in the pre-race. And then we'll get Daniel Smallwood the lead here at lap 19, working his way up the hill through the S's.
Yep, McSwain still taking his time. He might do some damage repair. I'll keep an eye on it real quick on pit road. Nope, tires down. He's out of the box. Doesn't want to waste too much time on track. What's the old saying? A second on the track is, a position on the speedway. Or second on pit road, whatever Dale Earnhardt said.
It's easier to beat him on pit road than it is on the racetrack.
Oh, that is for sure. McSwain, new tires, loose. He didn't get to rub those tires in on a warm-up lap that time around. Up 21 active viewers at 1 point. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here on MaxSpeedTV with the Bruzy Raceware USA Cup Series. I'll go ahead and thank those other sponsors in a second because I have a sponsor page in my notebook, and I am not on that page, so panic.
Yeah, looking at Zach McSwain here, working his way down the backstretch into the last left-hander here at Watkins Glen, off the new tires. I think it looks a lot more stable on the new tires than it does the old tires. As they complete lap to start lap 20 here. Run down in your top 5 here is lap 20 is Daniel Smallwood, Travis Browder up to 2nd, still with a pretty clean car. Jeffrey Merck in 3rd. I'm not going to say he has a clean car. Zach McSwain and Brandon Thornhill are your top 5 at Watkins Glen, as Brandon Thornhill is just going a lap down at Daniel Smallwood. Work their way down the backstretch here. Gotta think Smallwood's going to be hitting pit road here pretty soon, as he is wicked loose on the last left-hander, turn 7. I always called it turn 10 personally, but I count the bus stop. And he is going to hit pit road. Follow Daniel Smallwood, your leader, down pit road. We'll go through this pit stop. Don't want speed here, 40 seconds.
No, he's already served one penalty so far in this race and got all the way back up to 2nd under green flag conditions. So the 8 has to go through those sponsors. I can't find my notebook, but I'll go ahead and thank them anyway off the top of my head. Obviously, Bruzy Raceware USA for sponsoring our Cup Series. Scoop's Old Fashioned Ice Cream Shop in Port St. John, Florida. Support the Troops Truck Series on Thursday with ASN, American Sim Network, MaxSpeedTV, Lugnut TV, Over the Top Paints and Designs. I think he rebranded. Panic, you can correct me in a second. But, those guys for sponsoring, obviously MaxSpeedTV, out here 2 nights a week for Lugnuts.
Yeah, John Hendrick did end up rebranding the over-the-top paints and designs logo. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. On the 2nd place position, Jeffrey Merck. It's a brand new paint out of the shop this week. Doesn't look as pretty as it does when it started the race, but you still get the idea of it. Beautiful camo look on the over-the-top Motorsports 60 car.
I think John, if he's listening in at work at the moment, is going with over-the-top designs and over-the-top Motorsports, obviously the team here, with the 60, 76, the 8, the 02, 97, I think. Who knows?
Lap 21 here at Watkins Glen, or excuse me.
Yeah, on to lap 22 already. Zach McSwain slow out of that pit exchange there. Gonna find himself actually, 2 seconds back of Daniel Smallwood through the exchange?
2 seconds back and third position right now. Jeffrey Merck is the lead, but he has not pitted that 60 machine yet. Could be interesting, Jeff.
60.
Jeffrey Merck. I don't think he's pitted
Wow.
yet.
Man, that would be a bad series of events for that 60 machine if he has not pitted, and the leaders who have pitted are breathing down your neck already.
Taking a look right now to see if he had. All the way back to lap 7, I haven't seen anything yet.
Fifth, Brandon Thornhill. I just switched over to him on my end. He almost got loose off of pit road.
There's 60 on pit road now.
Yeah, 20, 21, 2, all on pit road. Not sure the extended stay time for some of these guys. Probably fixing damage.
What's going to be interesting to see is how much of a lead Daniel Smallwood could get, because he's going to, I mean, they're both got to pit again, so I guess it really doesn't matter, but Smallwood had that pit stop earlier, so he's making this a 3-stop race with that penalty.
Yeah, Smallwood with a win tonight would gain him an extra bonus point. Obviously I don't think he can lose 43 points next week. If we have 43 cars and he loses 42 points next week, he's still in the playoff race. So Daniel Smallwood probably has it locked down for the most part, especially with the drop race coming up. A win tonight, extra bonus point going to the start of the playoff schedule at Phoenix.
You correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, and I might be with the Daytona 500 coming in a month, but right now iRacing does not have a Daytona setup heading into that race.
Yeah. Well, the admins are hopefully re-watching this or listening. I know a couple of head admins that are usually, one of them, the owner, is usually up here on the chat from time to time, and he's listening. So they'll have to start that, and the head admin out here, hopefully he's listening too, because they need to get an early start on that setup, if that is true.
So
I
what
don't
we
know
got?
why iRacing would not have a setup for Daytona with the 500 coming up.
Yeah, and they didn't have one for Talladega either about a couple weeks ago either. So yeah, I'm not understanding that.
No, we were at Talladega for that Christmas bash. If y'all want to go back and watch that, somewhat exciting race. Came down to an exciting finish, at least there for the Christmas bash at Talladega, and no setup there. Having to build it in-house really stinks. Ruffles a few feathers at least, and they don't need to be doing that too much. They need that fixed setup for the fixed setup league, huh?
So here's the question I got for you, Jeff. It says we all been at Daytona. Everybody's been there. We've grown up watching it. Blah 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 blah. Besides the big one? Everybody knows the big one's going to happen. It's just inevitable. What else do you think you have to watch for at Daytona?
I don't think we'll see a big one until late. There's a lot of points on the line, and there's going to be a lot of top 15 drivers early on saying, watch it, watch it, watch it. You can't do 3 and 4 wide like Dega. Even with a great setup, you can barely keep that thing too wide. Even with the new Daytona smooth out on iRacing, I still think the big one and who it takes with it is key. But if we get singled out racing obviously it's going to be your buddy. Who are you with?
I also think handling is going to become a big factor at Daytona because once these tires get hot and we see the 81 spin out for turn 1 in front of Browder there. 81 of John
with no
Szolczewski.
John Szolczewski, yeah.
But yeah, I think handling is also going to become a big factor because once these tires get hot and dirty air and all that, you can't really hold the bottom all that well at Daytona, and that's going to produce a little bit of lifting. And yeah, the guy behind you doesn't know when you're lifting.
Well, you were with me up in the booth on Dega when they made their own setup. If it's anywhat similar, I would assume, preferably it would be, the outside line had no go on it early on, unless you had the same equal amount of cars.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the same way at Daytona. Daytona, a very bottom-sensitive track. I hope I'm wrong and we get 2x2 and more cars run the high line there. Personally, I like the high line on the restrictor plate races, but it all just comes down to the setup, and I'm not sure either right now off the top of my head if it's a day or a night race.
Yeah, we'll have to check out that when we come live here next Sunday. So that should be fun. Someone chiming in out there on the YouTube side of things, thinking green flag pit stops if they happen. Yeah, usually that's a big one that doesn't get called a yellow in iRacing early on these super speedways. I think green flag pit stops. I always think when you get strung out like that, who your marching buddy is and what type of communication, if you have any communication with the drafting partner, that is definitely key if we keep a green flag session going.
Another thing, looking at the YouTube chat, no cautions here on the Watkins Glen. It is green to checker no matter what. No cautions, lug nuts runs at Watkins Glen and the road courses.
Yeah, I know Jake Rousseau out there with that question. Yep, just ensuring right-hand turners when they do crash don't bring out a bazillion cautions.
Yeah, I think pit stops also, I forgot about that, for Daytona are going to be a key. And the reason they're a key is because you're trying, every other week you're by yourself pitting, you don't care who's around you. Well, Daytona, you have 10 cars trying to pit all at the same time. Nobody knows each other's braking points, and yeah, they just pile into each other.
It's a different monster, too, getting onto that pit road. Nice and flat for the most part at Talladega. A lot of speed at Dega carrying into the pits, but at Daytona, you're coming off of turn 4 and looking at the pit stop.
And you think with that big, wide pit road boxes they have at Daytona, it wouldn't be a problem, but you're doing 190 at max with this new setup coming off of 4, and all of a sudden you got to hit 55 miles an hour, or you got to pit again and be held a 40-second penalty with the new iRacing update.
All right, well, we've talked a lot about Daytona next week. That's our anticipation versus what's happened on the field. All the action happened early on out here at the Glen. I think it was pretty much decided who was going to be left on the track within the first 5 laps of this race. A lot of big names down, a lot of big names not choosing to go. I know Miss Michelle said Mitch wasn't going to be here tonight for some reason. I'll probably hear from Mitch personally. Mr. Miko going to listen to some country music as we get around the speedway. Whatever pop-up he had up there.
Smallwood now with a 8.5 second lead as a complete lap 28, start 29.
Yeah, so with all that said, we're actually going to take a quick commercial break. You're going to still see the racetrack and one little side window, and then we'll hear from those commercial sponsors. So we'll be right back here on MaxSpeedTV live at the Glen.
iRacing, the world's biggest premier online sim racing will choose the drivers and experience a lifetime of competing against some of the best drivers in the world. All drivers take their hand at each track and want to look good while putting it up front. Wouldn't you like to do the same? Introducing iRacing, one of the leading online iRacing paint venues, offers you any custom paint that you desire. Show off your sponsors and style while running some of the greatest sim racers out there and look great while pounding the pavement or spinning in the dirt. Any color or any design, no request is too small. From sprint cars to cup cars, they cover anything you want. Want to show off at local venue? Or how about running one of your favorite real-world drivers' paint? iWraps does it all. Custom suits, helmets, cars, and logos. Just ask and they will make it look like $1 million while you're going 1,000,000 miles an hour. iWraps produce high-quality virtual paint designs for iRacing vehicles of all kinds. Search iWraps on Facebook and send a message today to make your iRacing experience more than just making laps in a pre-made paint scheme. iWraps, the top of the line in online racing paint wraps. If you're looking for a gift for that special person or just want to treat yourself, check out Expressions by Erica on Facebook.
Cups, hats, t-shirts,
Heat transfer vinyl,
graphics, and much, much more. Treat yourself with a personalized monogram to go in your Yeti cooler or the back of your car.
Erica does it all.
Need something that says I love you for Valentine's Day, your anniversary, or even birthday? Erica has you covered with the best gift for all of those special occasions. Missy from Facebook says, they did an amazing job on what I ordered. They also did it very quickly, even though I had it shipped from South Carolina to Tennessee. I highly recommend them. Thank you, girls.
Also from Facebook, Casey says, great job. And they did it last minute for me since I completely forgot I needed it. Everyone loved it.
Contact Expressions by Erica by calling 843-810-3883 and like us on Facebook.
Expressions by Erica.
All right, back here at Watkins Glen, Daniel Smallwood still has the lead, 31 laps in the books at the Glen as they work into the bus stop, now with a 12.8 second lead over Zach McSwain, 45 seconds over Travis Barter as he laps Thornhill there, who is P5, I believe.
Yep, P5, Brandon Thornhill, that 68 Ducati machine. Getting lapped, so 4 cars lead lap officially now. Like you said, working towards lap number 32. Winding down through the end of this race. Pretty much the 8th race to lose at the moment. Zach McSwain looking pretty in that second. Hate to say it again. Travis Browder, I know there's some fans out there of T. Rowdy. He's up to 3rd, having a great race, great points night. John Hendrick chiming in, our league owner here at Loose Lug Nuts Racing.
Yeah, appreciate him throwing out there that Daytona will be a night race, and they will have the setup up on Facebook for that race, so appreciate John's input here tonight. Thank you.
Yep, all information on Loose Lug Nuts, 90% of it, 95% of it really, can be found on the Facebook page. If you're not already signed up, go sign up on the Facebook page. There's also a ton of streaming pages to find lug nut races that go live on MaxSpeed or ASN. Those get posted. Miss Michelle and Mr. D'Amico have quite a few out there that their admins are part of. So, you know, great way to find all of your lug nut racing or MaxSpeed racing.
Yeah, and Lug Nuts has definitely a wide variety of things to race here in this series, with the Thursday night being the Xfinity, or Truck Series, excuse me. Friday nights the Dirt, Saturday the Xfinity, and Sunday the Cup. I heard there's a Tuesday series coming about also, Jeff.
Yeah, just posted up there on that Facebook page. Tuesday's coming up. I don't think it will be broadcasted. I know we're starting to look at new drivers, so if you're a driver interested in Loose Lug Nuts and you want to get signed up for it, got to get signed up for that Facebook page first, and then get in contact with some admins or drivers out there. They'll help you get into Lug Nuts on the iRacing portal. Wheelman Series, starting with Street Stocks, ending with Cup actually here at the Glen. With quite a few laps less than this, but I think a Street Stock, super late model, the SK mod I saw in there.
I think I saw the Silver Crown too.
Silver Crown, yeah, dude. How much Silver Crown racing have we done over the lug nut history? Coming up on 6 years now on the iRacing side of things. We were all Silver Crown for a while.
Yeah, Silver Crown, in case you haven't drove them, Get up with your buddies, set up a race. The Silver Crown of Michigan is, no kidding, just like a smaller Daytona. It is wild. We had the closest finish ever in Lugnuts here at that track.
Yeah, Silver Crown, I think it was West Holland and
Donald King.
Donald King, yeah, old pro driver right there, Donald King that tunes in from time to time, and it's one of those. I don't know. It's like one of those things you got in your head just because of how awesome of a race and that setup we had with Silver Crown. Pitting going on for Daniel Smallwood on track. 3 cars on the lead lap, as mentioned. So leader on pit road. But great things coming up on Tuesday. If you want to get involved in the league, you get to mix it up with full-time racers. Who knows who's going to be there? If you got nothing going on Tuesdays, not involved in anything else, just come on in, have some fun, race, and get ready for the next season. I think we'll be starting around spring, maybe beginning of summer with the next full schedule.
Yeah, because top 3 series and Lugnuts, the Cup, the Xfinity, and Truck are locked till the season is over. So Tuesday, maybe even, I'm not sure, but Friday, the Dirt, good way to get your foot in the door, talk to these guys, know these guys. Very darn good racers, been with them for over 10 years now, been a part of this league. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, gonna have that race coming up. I think that's the next big race coming up. We'll probably see Charlotte. I imagine we were there last season for the 5-year anniversary, and 6-year anniversary coming up on the iRacing side, at least of things. Like Panic said, Lugnuts and what was it called? John, and you are going to correct me. Just go ahead. NRL 360. Did I get it right?
N360 RL on the Xbox.
Oh, yep. See, I had numbers and letters right.
You were there.
So fun times. That should be our next bash race, I think, coming up towards that time frame. We'll have to see what track John throws at us this time. And if we get to see coveted number 5 or whatever number he's running, or at least John might at least take a victory lap and lap number 1 around the speedway.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see something like a Richard Petty thing when they have him do the Daytona 500 in Darlington. See John come out there, cut a lap before everybody before we take the green. That'd be cool. Smallwood here running around the carousels, lap 35.
Yeah, 23 seconds behind him. Zach McSwain, the 091. Travis Browder, 50 seconds back.
Jeff Merck, I still can't believe that car is running back there in 4th position. A
Yeah,
minute
with
20.
That contact he made with Randy Arms and Kyle Chadwick around lap number 10, lap number 11. It's amazing he still has a motor, maybe even a transmission.
Let's go back to position 14, Tyler Needham. The car number 20. I can't believe that thing's running either, Jeff, but he's still clicking it off.
Like I said, I think 4th in points to start the night. 5th in points for that 20 of Tyler Needham. He's got to do at least 2 more laps to get ahead, to at least get 1 point back, based on where Randy Arms is, who's 4th place in points. So 3 more laps for that 20 machine, and then he just has to worry about no one because the rest of the guys aren't on the track. Isn't that nice? Only having to run 3 extra laps towards the end of the race just based on your points.
Yeah, it's also a big disappointment. You want to run the race, you want to run the whole thing, no damage and all that noise, but sometimes the lady luck is on your side, and sometimes you're sitting in the bus stop backwards. Another one, the 50 of Derek Daniels, who was the leader of the opening lap. Just a lot of these cars, Jeff. We see these things smack the wall and all of a sudden blow a motor in there. You see Jared Daniels, no front clip on the 50 Glock machine, and he's still cutting laps in P9.
Yeah, I'm going to say, technically those leaders could have taken the night off. Chadwick, Smallwood I don't think could take the night off. Mitch probably couldn't, but I know there's probably some circumstance behind that. family does come first here. So, those guys and the points, I think Mitch even will have to race his darndest next week, but I think he's safe here tonight, so to say. Cross off at least one of his zeros.
So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I know we keep talking about it, but I'm gonna ask you, and hopefully this is the last time. You're top 4 in points. You have nothing to lose. You pretty much locked into the chase. Do you go for it at Daytona, or do you hang out?
No. Well, okay. I go for it if I'm there at the end. And, from a guy that's watched you win a couple Daytona races here at Lugnuts Panic, it's good to be there at the end. But points-wise this year, it's all about that bonus going into the playoffs. Unless you're one of those guys that just want to hunt a win at Daytona. And it is a special win to get one at Daytona, Talladega. Those are hard races. We've seen 43-car fields a lot of times on our super speedway schedule.
Yeah, things happen in a hurry there. You could be second place running outside the leader and minding your own business, and nothing happened, and all of a sudden the bottom car missed the corner by a centimeter, and you're landing on the grandstands on top of somebody else. Trust me, I've done it on the backstretch here at Lugnuts in the Xfinity Series. We were chiming along, cutting laps. All of a sudden, I was Tony Stewart flipping down the backstretch, landing on my teammate Travis back in the day. Zunuma.
Oh, yeah. The old, I'm gonna guess the number here. Who's he rocking? The 92?
I believe it was the 90, but I could be wrong also.
90. Yeah, he had two numbers. You're right. I think the last one he was in was the 90. So.
I was watching a YouTube video this week. Tony Stewart said it best. Daytona is a chess match, and I'm only good at checkers.
Yeah, and that's why we'll see some of those guys run Daytona. Heck, you thought we were running Daytona tonight, those first few laps, too. The way some of them were coming off those corners, bad loose, bad fast, too. But those who survived have made it to the end. 13 cars on the track at the moment.
But that's the way the setup has been all season, Jeff, and you feel like Superman for the first 5 laps. You got to get them while you can, because once dirty air and all that, tire effects get in, everything goes, frying pan to the fire. But you got to get in, so you're excited, you're jumping at it, you're going, and one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden you're sitting in the grandstand drinking a Budweiser going, what happened?
Well, hey, you've proposed questions to me as we go around Watkins Glen. Our leader will be on lap number, I'm going to get that in a second, lap 39 around the speedway. But the question here to you, we've seen the Cup Series be the flagship series at Loose Lugnuts for a couple seasons now. What has been the biggest change in your opinion? Has it been the downforce package, the aerodynamics, the motor, whatever you want to look at it that way, or with this setup build, the new tire model? Which one has been a more significant change to the Cup car?
If you walk up to a Cup car in real life, virtual, anything, you look at it from the pit lane, you look at this car, it's got a front splitter, it's got a humongous spoiler. You think, all right, that thing's going to be fantastic. It's going to stick. It's going to do whatever I want it to. At the 1.5 miles, it's going to for 6 laps. Places, because of the 1.5 miles, have the smaller downforce or the high downforce, low horsepower package. Tracks like this, they don't have that. It's just high downforce 750. So I personally think the package for the Cup Series side is the most significant. Because like I said, here you're running 750 horsepower, so the car's all over the place. If we had what we have at 1.5 miles at Watkins Glen, you might not have seen the looseness in the S's. You might not have seen everything you see here on the Cup Series alone. That's my personal opinion. I think the package itself, it produces fantastic racing for the first 5 laps. But then it turns into single file, and dirty air starts to be a factor, and just a lot of things become a factor. It's a harder car to drive once the tires get hotter.
Yeah, it sure does offer extremely good broadcasting perspective on green-white checkers. I'll give it that much. It has been an exciting time over here on MaxSpeedTV on Sunday nights the last 2 seasons, watching these Cup cars go around. With that change, I think we were at Kansas somewhere last season, last time we were doing a full schedule run, and middle of the season change, and it was significant. It really was. These guys did not know how to be all over one another for that many laps.
No, it takes some growing pains. You go back to the last winter season, we couldn't even cut 2 laps without there being a caution because, like I said, everybody's excited. Everybody can pretty much keep it held wide open for the first couple laps, and we couldn't find our way through a paper bag then. And now here you are a year later and producing fantastic racing on all 3 series. And personally, I just want to throw this out there also. I think the Xfinity car, the Cup car is harder to drive to a stand because in traffic it's harder to drive. As you see, Small will get a little loose there. The Xfinity car itself is just hard to drive flat out. Like, that thing won't even go down the straightaway straight.
Yep, 10 laps to go around the speedway now. Daniel Smallwood leading by 25 seconds over Zach McSwain in second place. If you stuck around with us here this long on MaxSpeedTV, again, thank you. This is the Loose Lug Nuts Abruzzi Raceway USA Cup Series. Big shout out again to Abruzzi for the sponsor this season. Great products, big announcement coming next week when we hear from Judd. Pre-race, we'll go live 5 minutes before scheduled time of 8:30 Eastern, and so 8:25 Eastern, we'll have Judd up on the opening side of things at Daytona, and giving his big announcement on the Abruzzi side, hearing from their products. As always, go check them out on the Facebook side or on their URL. See if you like some of their products.
Travis Browder in pre-third, fighting Jeffrey Merck and Smallwood, trying to stay on the lead lap here as they come down. 10 to go when they 10 to go for them, 9 to go for Smallwood.
Yeah, you said how many finished on lead lap last night in the Xfinity side? 4?
I believe it was 4.
I think we may have less.
But if you're Daniel Smallwood, Jeff, let's take a look here real quick. You got a 25-second lead. Why even go after these guys to lap them?
I don't see him actually really taking, the initiative to go after him. Browder's actually escaping, and I think obviously Merck and Smallwood can negotiate some, at least, I don't know, maybe some coaching at this point from the 8 to the 60, seeing what line he's running, where he's braking, that type of deal, so he can pass Browder. Merck needs to pass Browder like Browder needs to stay in front of Merck, just points-wise. You need that extra point.
Yeah, Browder has to finish third. That's all there is to it, especially with the drops coming and where he is in points. He has to finish third here tonight at the best.
Yep, he's got it locked down. He's third-place driver, no doubt there. But, he's really slowed down in the last half of this race. Maybe his tires are starting to show up a little bit better. Yeah, T. Rowdy has a little bit of a problem from time to time with connection. Hopefully he doesn't. I'm actually going to go over onto the ping side of things, see who the highest ping ratio logged in right now. Browder's up there, but he's not the highest. His quality's good and everything. Of course, my internet could be lying to me.
Merck is another one. You want to get Browder for third, but at the same time, you don't want to wreck it more than it already is, and you got the leader on your back bumper, so that's not making any friends.
No, I would say Merck is quite lucky to be in the position he is after the incident happened in front of him with Chadwick and Arms, and I think
Smallwood around him.
Yeah, there goes Smallwood, teammate around. So that leaves 3 cars back on the lead lap, 1 less than last night.
If you're Smallwood, do you go after Browder, Jeff, or do you just where you're at?
There's only one guy in recent memory that's lapped the field, and that was the Ford machine, and I think it was here at the Glen. So that's something to be said by. Even if we only had 15 drivers when he did it, it's still something to say. At the Glen, I was a minute and 15 seconds faster than second place.
Yeah, this always happens at the Glen. They get strung out really, more so tonight because of the big one, but they get strung out pretty good, and you got the no caution effect, which you got to have here at this place. We've seen 25 cars crash tonight out of 22, so cautions, we'd be still under caution and wouldn't even get a lap in.
Yep.
He's gonna get there.
Jake Rousseau out there. Thornhill, no. Thornhill is in 5th. A lap down. It is Daniel Smallwood, 25 seconds over Zach McSwain. Now Smallwood working on Browder. A little bit aggressive here for the 8. He's just looking for some fun.
Yeah, I don't blame the 18. I'm gonna race my butt off to stay in front of him. You don't want to be the first guy a lap down or a lap down at all in any of these, and see Smallwood get a little sideways there. Don't think we're going to see the surge from McSwain the night that we saw on Thursday there, Jeff, with a 25-second gap.
No, we're beyond the need to pit. So these guys got through 2 pit stop rounds. We had that commercial break when that was going on, so they're doing their thing. And like I said, McSwain made up what, like 13 seconds on Mitchell Reeves coming down to that final lap. And there was a crash in front of Mitchell on Thursday going out of turn 1 exit. Mitch hit him, McSwain hit Mitch, and McSwain got DQ'd at that point due to incident limit, which was terrible because that would have been a heck of a race back to the line. 2 damaged cars, Rowdy and Cole Trickle style on the freeway.
Rowdy is not letting Smallwood go, Jeff.
No, look at Browder there, holding on strong. Smallwood racing him clean. Browder not giving him any room.
Yeah, this could be a mess. This really could, because this is for position and a lap down at the same time. This is, yeah. If I'm Smallwood, I'm pushing the clutch. Y'all will have at it. I'm good.
And McSwain hurt us quite a few laps late. About 5 to go around the speedway right now, and McSwain 24.9. He gained a 10th there, coming to the line.
Smallwood's so good through the S's on Browder. I know I act like this is for the lead, but this is the most excitement I've seen in the last 20 laps. So Smallwood is Martin Truex him tonight.
They let the fireworks go early here. Oh, Browder with a bad bump through the bus stop.
Smallwood has always got Browder in the carousel, and Browder got him out coming off the carousel, but it ain't gonna be that way today. This lap.
No, yeah, Smallwood gets by him. Browder, great job. I'm clapping without the bike being initiated here, because Browder put on a good show at the end of the race.
I don't think that fight for third is done yet either. See Merck always in the internal.
Oh wow, Jeff Merck replay going to come up on the 60 machine of Jeff Merck, who re-damages the nose.
That boy was going for it, son.
I'm gonna have to take a replay on my end. So coming up on Max Speed here.
Just gets that on the paint, right?
What was that, Mr. D'Amico? All right. Yeah.
Just gets out on the paint, Jeff.
Yeah. He was trying to take an extra position there from Browder, and just a few horsepower too much on that rumble strip.
Say, this is real life. We would be under caution or a red flag because those barrels would be done.
Yeah, who was it back in the day that slammed those barrels?
Bobby Labonte.
Yeah, it was Labonte. Big old waterfall happened there. They blocked on straightaway how big the crash was, but Labonte, I think with the 47, right? When he was running the 47, crashed that barrel.
I think it was the 43. It was a Richard Petty car. Either way.
Yeah, it was a big explosion of water barrels. They don't move here on iRacing, though.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Beautiful sim world here on iRacing. No injuries here. Just hurt feelings sometimes.
Well, if anybody wants to know what...
All right, 3 to go around the speedway.
Anybody wants to know what Jeff Merck is running, you can actually take a really good look at his engine now. So there's no front clip left on the 60.
Yeah, Now I'm worried about him blowing that motor in the last few laps.
Well, so I don't think he's going to have any overheating issues.
No, he's getting full air to that.
Let's go ahead and talk about Daniel Smallwood here, the leader, as they come down to three laps to go in this last left-hander. This boy has just put on the clinic tonight, Jeff. Coming back from a penalty, sat on the pole by half a, or I don't think he sat on the pole actually, sorry, but had practice
Outside
covered by
pole.
half a second. Started second tonight and just had him covered tonight.
Now it was his race to lose, and he lost it on lap 1, but, you know, lucky for him that, you know, everyone else found the wall or another car.
Poor Zach McSwain, man. We either got to start calling him Zach Larson or Zach Cinderella, because he has been second place, I believe, all weekend. I'm not sure about last night. I think he got third off the top of my head. I think Mitchell was second, but...
Yeah, other than 91, if he could have put down a race to, you know, compete hard at, I think the Glen was a good one for him. Dirt Racer on Wednesday and Friday nights here on Loose Lug Nuts Racing. Those you can see on ASN, the dirt side of things. If you're interested in that, that's its own iRacing portal page. Like Panic said, good way to get into the league. Dirt side are on the Tuesday side now, so keep up with that. Facebook coming to the white flag, I think, here with Daniel Smallwood left and right before the white flag.
Nothing but clear sailing out in front of him, not even a lap car.
Yeah, there's one down the far end of the front stretch, but nothing really of note here. The only thing he can't do is find no motor. And Daniel Smallwood's having fun. Him and McSwain may be the only one. I just know Smallwood families out there rooting on that 8 machine. First time I've seen them on the chat here tonight, but that number 8 is head over heels the best car on the speedway.
Mark Jackson give way there through the bus stop. Let Smallwood go ahead.
Yep, that's the professional way to actually do that through the bus stop is to come to that complete stop or the quick roll through. I don't know what NASCAR does or iRacing does for that.
It's a 2-second penalty you got to slow down for. NASCAR, you got to stop.
Okay. I know the Roval you have to stop when you go through the non-race course portion.
But that doesn't matter to Daniel Smallwood as he works his way off the last turn to take the checker flag here at Watkins Glen International Speedway tonight and just smack him.
Yeah, 25 plus seconds going to be the mark ahead of Zach McSwain. Panic's going to call the rest of them while I get them ready for these interviews.
Yeah, conclusion here at Watkins Glen International. They complete the laps here. Daniel Smallwood will be your winner. Zach McSwain is second. Travis Browder is first car 1 lap down in third. Jeffrey Merck is fourth, surprisingly. Brandon Thornhill is fifth. First car 2 laps down. Ray Richer back at sixth. First car 3 laps down. Brandon Needham in 7th. John is 8th. Suzeski, I cannot say that name.
Schulcheski.
Jared Daniels in 9th. And Mark Jackson rounding out the top 10 here at Watkins Glen. Tyler Needham is 11th. John Henderson 12th. Brandon Murray 13th. Randy Arms, first car out in P14th. Andrew Fesson, Kyle Chadwick. Trey Gogging is 17th. Judd Danielson, Topper Dugas. Justin Michael is 20, and Trent Drum rounds out the field here at Watkins Glen.
All right, Daniel Smallwood has a couple laps to go. These guys, the drivers, I hope they're at least listening to this portion of the race, of the interviews that are about to happen. You need to wait till the last car gets around the speedway before you whip it around, right, Mark Jackson? So just be aware of that, drivers. You gotta wait for every car to finish the race before you can do those burnouts or go the wrong way. So here we go with Daniel Smallwood. Well, Daniel Smallwood getting to the start-finish line. Wow, dude. You know, lap 1 penalty, and you still find the checkered.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Me and Randy, we had the start. Well, he didn't know when the green was coming out, and I started in first gear, so I got an extra jump on him. which gave me the black flag, which is just stop and go. Thankfully, it was just a stop and go. But when we came down, we went back out and we started passing everybody. I was having fun. I told Randy, I was thinking it was 2 laps in. I told Randy, thank you for this. I had the most fun I've had all week in a while. But after that, I guess they just started wrecking, and I guess thankfully I was back enough where I wasn't involved in anything.
No, you definitely avoided the lap, I would say 5 to lap 12 shenanigans going on the track with some lead lap cars finding the wall on one another. But, we talked a lot about points of, probably not, anything significant in points-wise other than that bonus point for you now going into the playoffs. An extra mark, you can take a shot at it next week, too, at Daytona. Glenn, seems fun for you. Family said you're having fun. You look like you're having fun. Are you going to be worrying next week at Daytona?
No, man. We're too far ahead to worry about points. We're just going to worry about our teammates. Try to get us up there. But yeah, I was having a lot of fun. I'm not the best road course racer. I don't even like racing. My only time I like racing a road course is when it's a stock car on a road course, which is weird. I don't like racing road course cars on a road course for some reason. I don't know why. But this ain't even my best road course. My best road course is definitely Sonoma.
All right. Well, maybe up in the future we'll see some Sonoma in favor of that 8 machine. Go ahead and thank those people you need to for this win tonight.
I gotta thank everybody over the top. They do great. They're great supporters. I wanted to give a shout out to John Hedrick for the paint. He does great. Thank you guys. I want to thank Abruzzi Racewear. They're great sponsors and everything. Can't wait to get my gloves. I want to thank my mom and dad, everybody out there watching. This is my second road course win on a stock car ever. So last night was my first one. So we did the weekend sweep. We didn't run trucks, so weekend sweep for us. Thankful for everybody that watches. You never know when you're gonna get your next win, so I'm gonna definitely celebrate this one, and we'll try to get them in Daytona.
All right, 8 of Daniel Smallwood. We'll see you there at Daytona, buddy.
Yep, thank you, bud.
All right, Panic's gonna be up next with Zach McSwain.
Zach, this Panic in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, tell me about tonight and how your weekend went. I'm pretty sure you got top 3 all weekend and pretty good showing. I know you want more, but go ahead and tell me how your night went.
Well, I got wrecked out there on the truck race, but we kind of gave that one away. And then Xfinity, we finished 3rd, and then tonight was just who was going to finish 2nd. I know Randy had some bad luck there and got involved in a wreck, so he would have probably been 2nd and was probably a 3rd place car, but we'll take 2nd. Had the lead there for a couple laps, and then I screwed up and got really loose off the last corner and hit the wall, but it really wasn't going to matter. Smallwood was just class of the field, so it was a good weekend, good race in all 3 series, so we'll take it and move on next week.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how was the handling of the car tonight besides, getting loose off that corner? We've seen a lot of people struggle with that tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty sketchy there, walking up through the S's and stuff, but wasn't really that bad. I like the road courses and had some laps on this track, so we had some good speed, just not good enough tonight, but top 3 is always good.
How do you feel going into Daytona?
It's just a crapshoot, really. It's just all luck, really. Just try to stay out of trouble. I think I'll only be able to run the truck race next week because I'm going out of town for the weekend, so hopefully we can try to get our first win there. We'll give it all we got.
Anybody you want to thank, man, before we let you go?
Yeah, just thank all my teammates at Misfits, Randy and Brandon, all the guys over there helping me out. Then thank my sponsors, H&M Automotive, Dominator Race Designs, Pit Pass by Katie, Bighorn Taxidermy, and SRTV. And thank you all for broadcasting.
All right, man, we appreciate it. Good luck next week, and congrats on your 3rd. Or
thank
2nd
you.
tonight.
Thanks.
All right, last up on the board here is Travis Browder and that 18 machine. Good points night. Going to set you up for a fun week next week, at least on the Cup side of things there, Mr. Rowdy.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, you're putting yourself on the bubble to get into that top 12.
Oh yeah, man. Looking forward to Daytona next week. It's gonna be a fun one. Hopefully we'll have a good run there and try to get the points we can to try to have a chance at to get into the playoffs.
No, you put yourself in the perfect position. You stayed out for the mess for the most part. I know you had some close calls. Saw you snake away from one incident or two there. So there was temptation for you to find some extra damage, but like Panic said during the race, this is where you needed to finish, or better, obviously. You needed to finish third or better. We got the drop race happening now, so you have a worse finish than this go away, and you're going to set up right there on the bubble. Daytona's going to be just, the best or worst race for you, so to say. What do you feel like you have to do next week? Do you got to be up front, or you got to stay away from the stuff?
Well, staying up front is key. Aperture plate racing, like Daytona and Talladega, like it is. It's very hard to win these races, and hopefully I'll figure out a strategy next week at Daytona so I can try to get in. But we're gonna do the best we can.
All right, Travis Browder, 18. Go ahead and thank those people you need to.
John Hendrick over the Top Paints and Designs. You guys up there in the booth at MaxSpeedTV. Thank you guys for the broadcast. Big shout out to Dana for the win, Zach for second. Jeffrey Merck, good racing there at the end, so big shout out to him there.
All right, thank you, Travis. We'll see you next week at Daytona.
Thank you, Jeff. Good night, guys.
All right, well, it's been a great time up here at the booth. We'll be back next Sunday here on MaxSpeedTV on Sunday nights. The Brucey Racewear Cup Series. Daytona, we said it enough. We talked about it enough. Now the anticipation will go forward with the ending of Watkins Glen. Smallwood, McSwain, Browder, your top three here tonight. Again, thank you to our sponsors, the Brucey, Scoops Old Fashioned Ice Cream, MaxSpeedTV. Support the Troops Truck Series with ASN, Lugnut TV, Over the Top Paints and Designs, Agave Valley Painting for their starting grid sponsor. So everyone out there, as always, we'll see you next week, and stay safe. And we are green. Evenly start inside line with the edge.
Mark Jackson just slower than Wesley Hollinger.
The drivers around the corners as long as they hit their...
Max on lid.